Today's top 3 gods in every role with their builds was made possible and sponsored by War Thunder. Stick around to hear more about this fun free-to-play game later on in the video. So, without further ado, let us get into, I'm going to go over the top 3 gods in each role and show you guys the builds to go on them. And this is for ranked, so keep that in mind. So a character like Nut, even though Nut's probably one of the best characters in the game, not going to throw in there because she's not available in ranked yet. So, we'll start off in the old solo lane, the old tried and true role that I play mostly. But I've been off-rolling a ton, so just what I've seen other people have success with as well. It's hard to play against. What's good with the meta builds and all that. But yeah, solo lane, starting off first. Nothing has really changed much over here. Still going to be Bologna. It's probably your number 1. I still like to go Axe on her because Axe of Animosity late game with kin size, you just do so much damage on this character. So you go teleport. Pretty easy. I got a lot of characters to get through, so I'm not going to explain as much probably as I usually do, but we will go through pretty simple stuff. You go Shoguns to a kin size. If they have any auto attackers on their team, then you should probably get a Guardian Mail at some point in the build, like right here. If not, then you can go a Pridwin Glyph, such as Red Pridwin, or a Binding. You do a lot of damage with this. You can either go Thorns as your second relic, you can go Blink, go Beads if you need that. So Bologna's at number 1, no surprise there. Osiris, kind of no surprise either. Still very good. I still like to go Axe on him. You can go Axe or you can go Destal. Both are good. I'll throw Destal in just because we did Axe on Bologna. It's kind of the same thing. You're going to be rushing Phalanx because it's still broken. They haven't nerfed it. But Teleport. A little bit different than the Bologna build. And I actually like going Executioner on him instead of whatchamacallit. Instead of kin size. You can actually go Executioner here if you want because Phalanx makes you tanky enough. You're going to be going to an Executioner Glyph with that as well. Prophetic Cloak. Pestilence usually here. Just a little AoE anti-heal. It's good for the team. Helps you out-trade them, especially when you get Death's Embrace. And then last time, whatever you need. It could be Pridwin Glyph. Could be Guardian, like I said before. Could be a Stone of Binding. All are pretty good. And Blink, Thorn, same thing with Osiris. So keep that in mind. Our third solo laner is going to be Chalk. Now, Chalk can get away with a lot of different builds, in my opinion. That's part of the reason I have him up here. You can't really go wrong with him because he is good in lane. He can stalemate lane. Makes really good. He's like a really good tank late game. Can actually solo people with the right build. And yeah, I just think this character is pretty strong right now. Can't really go wrong with him, like I said. Go few different builds on him. You can go the Sigil build with Infuse or Mitigation, but I think the best one you should probably go is Bluestone. And the safest thing to do is just go to Contagion because you're going to be getting a Prophetic, so you can stack that up very easily. And Prophetic, I think Prophetic's like the best tank item in the game in general, but it's definitely good on Chalk when you get that Redstone late game, which is what you're going to be going Prophetic. And you can honestly go Scepter on this character. Second Sector is super strong on him. You could even rush it if you prefer that and you're comfortable with Chalk. I think it's very, very strong on him. You could either go a Heartward Glyph, the yellow Heartward Glyph, or the purple. I actually really like the purple right now. The Silence is pretty strong, especially combined with your Silence from your ult. And then, of course, you're going to need a Pridwin Glyph. It's kind of the whole point, and Pridwin Glyph. Pridwin Glyph and Prophetic are like the best tank items in the game. And then you go Redstone. Some other items I like on him are Guardian and Gauntlet of Thebes, actually. Get all those prots from Thebes plus Prophetic plus Redstone. You're literally sitting at like 400 plus of each prot with a huge shield. If they have no anti-shield in their build, then you can go Blue Pridwin, so you can get a Nike shield of an ult. And trust me, this character, he's got some explosive gameplay. And speaking of explosive gameplay, I want to take a moment to talk and thank the sponsor of today's video, War Thunder. War Thunder is the most expansive free-to-play combat vehicle game available on both PC and on console. Step into the role of a commander with access to an unparalleled arsenal of over 2,500 aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and naval vessels. Experience history and motion from the 1920s armed vehicles and biplanes to the cutting-edge fighter jets and tanks of our era. Experience the thrill of War Thunder's battles. With highly detailed models and lifelike graphics, you get transported directly into the cockpit of history's most formidable weapons, which you don't even need a high-end machine to run. War Thunder has one of the most sophisticated vehicle damage models in gaming, with an impressive damage x-ray view where you can see exactly where the enemy got the best of you in your vehicle. There's tons of customization and game modes for every type of player, from the casual to those seeking intense authenticity. Join the global phenomenon with a community of over 70 million players for unforgettable PvP competition. So guys, go play War Thunder for free on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation by clicking my link in the video description or in the pinned comment. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack that's across all platforms. It includes premium vehicles, an exclusive vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of a premium account. It's available for a limited time only, so you better be quick. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back into it. Moving on to the jungle role. The 3 junglers that I'd be playing right now. Start out with Thor. Good every single game. Can't really go wrong with this character. Go Boombas. Tier 1 Jotuns. You're going to be rushing Jotuns in basically every single build. Go 2 health pots and 1 mana, or a couple multis if you like that. You're going to have beads, of course. So I'll throw that in here. On Thor, at least, you're going to have beads. You don't need to start blink on this character. Transcendence is really sick right now, so I'd recommend going that, even in the jungle. But you can also go Hydra second item, just go for that full CDR. And you could honestly go Transcendence third if you'd like. And Heartseeker, definitely go Heartseeker over Crusher. I think Crusher is very overrated. It's not a very good item. I think most of the time you should be going Spear. Spear is just a little bit more consistent, good for splitting, like good like all in, or not good all in damage, but good damage from like poke and making your abilities do more. And then a lot of times you can either go like a serrated or a this you'll be overcapped a percent pen if you go serrated. So probably something like a Blood Forge just for that shield to keep diving late game. Something similar to that. And of course go Beads Aegis on Thor specifically. But you can make a lot of different builds work on Thor. There's other things you can go. Thanatos is our number 2. Thana's a little bit different. You can go a lot of different starters on him. You could even go Mannequins if you'd like. But I still think you should probably go something like a Boombas. Just because you can heal with Mannequins from your passive and all that. But Boombas is just so good. So strong. And it could be good for the late game if you go Boombas Dagger. His build's a little bit different because you get enough flat pen from year 2 that you don't have to build a bunch of flat pen. So that's something to keep in mind. I think sometimes people just build too much flat pen. It like makes their builds worse on Thana. But I still think you should probably rush Jotuns into Hydras just for the full CDR. Crazy gank potential, lots of damage. But at this point, I think you should probably get some lifesteal. I like to go Serrated, Blood Forge, just a lot of lifesteal. And again, you get enough pen from your 2 that you should be fine. Then you can go Boombas Spear or Boombas Dagger, whatever you prefer in your playstyle. Both are good. Throw a Spear in there. And then last item, whatever you need, maybe situational. Just slam more damage, like a Heartseeker could be fine. Like I said, you don't need to build a ton of flat pens, so we'll just throw a Heartseeker in there. Boom. And of course, you start Blink on Thana, so you can make plays. And Beads second, of course. Bada bing, bada boom. So that's the Thanatos build. And coming in last is Susano. Honestly, all these builds are going to be pretty similar. They haven't really changed up jungle builds in a long time. So even just from the last video, you probably see a similar build. But you should definitely start Blink on this character so you can make plays in the early game. Unless you're against like a dodgy jungle or a ton of CC where you're not going to be able to make plays like AMC made with Aerie support. But even then, I think you should probably go Blink just so you can make plays and you just play around them having CC. Same thing. Jotuns and Hydras just get that full CDR online, tons of damage. So you can get your ganks off and get some early game kills and snowball. You can consider going Transcendence on this character. It's fine to go third item Transcendence or stacking items because you can easily stack items now from just hitting people, and you're definitely going to be hitting a lot of people on this character. Do a Serrated, probably into a Heartseeker, and then last item, Boombas. Definitely a good character for Boombas Hammer, but Boombas Spear is also good because when you're fighting around this Fire Giants late game, it'll be good for burning down the FG, securing the FG with your Susano while hitting the enemies. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Go Bead second, of course. And also remember for the shards, go Golden Shard on every Soul Laner. And then in jungle, you can go Golden Shard on some people, but you can also consider going Orange Shard or Vibrant Shard. And I'll just throw in a Blood Forge down here in case you want to throw that in the build. Maybe replace something with it. So yeah, that's a Susano build. So those are the 3 junglers I'll be playing right now. Mid is very simple, very easy and straightforward. It's going to be 2 physical hunters. The first being AMC. Very simple build. You go tier 1 Transcendence or tier 1 Jotuns. It's really up to you. And then I think you can get 5 potions with this, right? But regardless, we'll just show you going Beads here. Go Golden Shard on AMC and every other mid hunter, or any hunter for that matter. So we go Transcendence. Go Jotuns. Like I said, you can go Jotuns first, and that's fine. You can upgrade the glyph whenever you want. If you have enough gold for it, do it right away. Then you go Fail Not. This is your full CDR right here. You go Heartseeker. You should be able to upgrade your Bluestone to Brooch at this point. And then last item, Crusher. Even though I think Crusher's kind of overrated, it just gives you a little bit more proc effect than you're going to be one-shotting with your 1-3 combo on AMC. You go Aegis second. Really all there is to it. This is the build you go on AMC. Go Jotuns before Transcendence if you'd like, but still go Fail Not. Remember, Transcendence does not have 10% CDR on anymore, so you're actually not overcapped with this. And then you'll be full CDR. You don't have to use your blue Tiki. You can use the red Tiki for more ability lifesteal, which is really strong on them. That's the AMC build right there. The other Hunter mid that you should be playing is Marty, and it's the exact same build. I'll go ahead and repeat it just so you guys can see with Marty next to the character model or whatever, the build. I was about to do teleport, so used to Soul Lane. So yeah, same thing. Throw in the Jotun's Glyph, why not? Fail Not. Heartseeker. You can go Crusher here if you prefer, because you're going to go both, but I think Heartseeker is better. But it is a little bit more expensive. Same thing, just exact same build. It's very OP right now, and they didn't nerf it for some reason, so 2 physicals as your top mids. So that's the Marty build right there. Your last mid laner you should be playing right now is Kukulkan. To an honorable mention to Thoth as well. But yeah, Kukulkan, just super safe character, still broken, and good at securing objectives, very safe. Can't really go wrong with him. Still want to go Sands of Time on him, tier 1 book. There is an argument to be made where you can go book a little bit later in the build just because you can stack it very easily by hitting enemies, but it's not a big deal. Getting that online ASAP is still good because it's the best mage item in the game and it's not really close. If they have any healing, go Divine. If you can get away with Spear because they have no healing, then go Spear, but a lot of games it's going to be Divine, so we'll throw that there. Staff of Mirrodin. Staff of Mirrodin's still like one of the best mage items, probably second best, so you kind of want to be playing characters that can abuse it. And you go into an Obsidian Shard, into a Reaver, and I think you should most of the time go Pendulum. Personally think that Alternate Timeline gets a lot less value in ranked. I think it was a lot better last year because of competitive and could really abuse it there, but I think Pendulum's still really good, but I'll throw Alternate in here as well. Especially on a Cuckoo build when you already get a ton of power in your whole build, you'll just be one-shotting with Pendulum. Go Aegis, of course. Beats Aegis every game on carries. Both those relics are absolutely broken right now, so this is the full build. Switch this for Deso. Nothing really too crazy. Here is Kukulkan at number 3 in the mid lane. Moving on. Where we can get a little bit spicier, I'd say. This one I think comes down to a little bit more to playstyle, but I personally think these are the best 3 characters you should play in support. They're all really super aggressive. We're going to start out with Sobek because he's really simple. I'm not saying he's number 1, but he's definitely top 3. War Flag I think is good in almost every scenario. It's a good aggressive starter item, but you can go Sentinels if you prefer that, but I think you should probably go War Flag most of the time. Into a Prophetic, tier 1, 5 potions. If you can get away with double stacking on supports, I think it's good. Prophetic and Thebes, so it's something to consider going. Most of the time, it's going to be Horrific. I say most of the time, basically always go Horrific. It's the best relic in the game, especially on the supports that I'm going to show you guys. So we go into a Prophetic. Like I said, probably get away with a double stack in a lot of scenarios. If not, I like to go Mystical here on these characters, just because you can kind of run at people into either a Void Damaru or a Pridwin. It's sort of like the Guardian solo build, but you just go it on these characters because they're super strong with it. Go Spartan Flag. I think you should go Spartan Flag over War Banner almost always because this relies way too much on minions to get value. And Spartan Flag has the same base stats as War Banner now, which it didn't before. So, and then last item, really whatever you need. Could be a Binding. Maybe you want to throw an Aura in there, such as like you guys are sieging. You go to Emperors. They have a lot of auto attackers, or maybe they don't, but Hunters are pretty strong right now. Throw Midgardian in the build somewhere. Midgardian instead of Pridwin here, something like that. But yeah, super aggressive, good build. Your second relic is going to depend on the game. That's where you kind of want to counter build a little bit more. But definitely want to go Horrific first. Second, you could throw a Sprint to counter their Horrific or counter some of their slows in their team comp. You could go Thorns, Horrific plus Thorns on Sobek and these other 2 characters is pretty strong. Throw a Bracer in there, really up to you. So that's Sobek. The other character is Karen. You even seen this character played in mid. Very strong. Very good with War Flag and Prophetic. It's good at just running it down, rowing it down, if you will. Very good at proccing it. This build I'm going to show you is a little bit spicy as well. Horrific, but with this character is already so safe, so I think you can get away with it. Prophetic into a Gauntlet of Thebes, double stack into a Chronos Pendant. You can go Pridwin here if you feel like you're not tanky enough at this point. Go Pridwin there, and then flip it and go Chronos Pendant in this 4th slot. But since we did that, Chronos Pendant first, go Pridwin there. Then you go Spartan Flag. Bada bing, bada boom. And then last item, very situational, whatever you really need. Mid Guardian, if they have a lot of auto attackers, you could go another damage item if you want here. You go Spectral if they have crit. Really up to you. Binding, help your overall damage out a little bit. Your Void Damaru, we'll throw that in there. But yeah, Horrific. And then second item, probably wouldn't go Thorns on Karen. Maybe a Sprint, a Bracer is really good. So I'll just throw Sprint in here. So yeah, this is the Karen build. Chronos Pendant, more specific to him, very safe and can get a lot of abilities off in damage-wise. And he also makes him safer because the more times you can spam your 2, the easier it is to survive a team fight. Yeah, that's Karen as the other support. And the third one is, one second, Sal, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Much appreciated, dude. Welcome to the Fonzo family. Thank you, thank you. You do overcap CDR with Prophetic, Chronos, and Pridwin, but you don't care. You're buying Pridwin for the glyph because it's broken. And Chronos Pendant for the passive. But you don't care. And you're buying Prophetic for the passive as well. It doesn't really matter. All those items, if they didn't have CDR on them, they'd, except for Chronos Pendant. Bacchus is the other character I recommend you play. Can just be super aggressive. And I honestly think this character is busted in support if you know how to play him. Just look at Laspra. Get your potions. Another character that can really abuse Horrific, which is definitely important because Horrific's kind of the best item in the game. So it kind of dictates the meta. And then you should go that super aggressive Sobek style build on this character as well. He does a lot of damage, so Void Damaru here into a Pridwin glyph will be very, very strong for you. Something to keep in mind is that these are not your necessarily your peel supports, like your Kepris or your Gebs and stuff like that. But there's good reason. Horrific is so broken that you want to be able to abuse that, and you can just solo enemies with your Mystical procs, all of your base damage, your Scepter, everything that you do, your Pridwin procs. So, binding last item, reduce their procs even more, helps out your team do a little bit damage for your dive. And then, of course, Thorns, especially on Bacchus. And we'll throw Mid-Guardian just for to have it there. And a, where is that? Spectral. Just to have it there, just for a little bit more counter building potential if you need that. But absolutely busted build. Nah, you shouldn't go Breastplate Regrowth really ever. It's not really that great of an item right now. So yeah, that's Bacchus as the third support you should be playing right now. And if you get comfortable on this character and you get off-rolled to support, honestly, all 3 of these characters, you can hard carry the game. Like I'm not even kidding. Like, you will solo backlanders on your own. People are like, oh, I need my carries to hit abilities for me to do stuff. Like, no, not with a character like Bacchus or Karen. In order to win the game, you might still need it at the end of the day, but you will be owning on those characters. So yeah, that was support. And then the last role, of course, is going to be ADC. Pretty boring, to be honest, because this really hasn't changed much in a while. I think there's a lot of different things you could try out in ADC right now. People are experimenting, but you can go back to the tried and true. So first and foremost, we have Hachi. Pretty simple build. I'd recommend building kind of the same ADC build every game. I know it's kind of boring, but I personally think it's just the best for a reason. You go 3 health pots and 2 multis, but I'll just throw the beads in there just to show. You go Dev Gloves. I'll show you a couple builds just so you guys can see what you could potentially go. This is what I think you should go personally every single game. Go Leader's Cow with an Odysseus Bow, and then you get Executioner Glyph. And your Odysseus, remember that your Odysseus Bow procs your Executioner Glyph because all you need to do is simply hit an enemy with anything, so it procs the Executioner Glyph. You go Aegis. I personally think this is the best ADC build, and you should build it on everybody. But if you're more into the critical strike route, I think you should still go Leather Cow. I think you lose way too much pressure if you go Ornate. And maybe in your lower level bronze games, that doesn't matter, so you could consider going Gilded if every game goes late, and then you can go this route. With Dev Gloves. Where is this? Where's this thing? This. Dominance. And then you can go this route, which is quite strong because you get the benefit of Shred plus Kins and Critical Strike. So that's a pretty strong build. If all of your games go late and you feel like you can do it, sure, agreed that. But then the other build. Oh. If you go Leather Cow. Leather Cow. Go Executioner. And then go a Wind Demon or a Fail Not with a Deathbringer Glyph. And then go Leader's Cow. And you have enough pen and a decent amount of crit chance, and you'll be hitting pretty hard. So, and the other ADC, or one of the other three, or the other two, on her. Kind of no surprise there. Same thing. Should just be going Leather Cow. Usually go 3 health pots, 2 multis. So keep that in mind. The beads. Go Debs. That flat pen from Debs plus on her passive, you shred people to the bone. And to an Xe, shredding them even more. Dominance, shredding them even more. Do a kin size. And I also really like this build more on her because it gives you a lot of attack speed. All of these items are going to give you attack speed, and he's kind of a low base attack speed character. So definitely would prefer this on him over crit. But you can go crit if you like. And last but not least, our last ADC. I want to say Apollo. I really want to say Apollo because I think that character freaking owns. But more realistically, a lot more pressure this character has. And probably a little bit more safe. Ishtar. And same old, same old. It's boring. It's just ADC builds are always boring. You could go crit on her because of her ranged ones, but I mean, I literally play this character so much, and I think this build is 10 times better. Especially on her. You can literally just kill tanks from a distance with your kin size procs. So yeah, pretty boring, but same build basically. For a single time. Go Leader's Cow. Boom. Oboe last item. Aegis. Beads Aegis every game on carries, like I said. Absolutely busted relics. Especially because they upgrade so fast, which means they're up more often than they're not. So, yeah. So that's the all 3 hunters. So just a quick recap. We have on her, no particular order, on her, Hachi, Ishtar. Then we have Karen, Sobek, and Bacchus as our supports. In the mid lane, sadly, we have 2 hunters. We have AMC and Marty, plus Kukulkan. In the jungle role, we have Thor, Susano, and Thanatos. And in the old soul lane, we have Bellona, Osiris, and Chalk. No whale. Baki Kajira got nerfed, and I already thought he was pretty overrated. I honestly don't think that character is that great. That's basically it. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. And remember, guys, you can try out War Thunder for free on PlayStation, Xbox, or PC using my link in the description or in the pinned comment below. And don't forget about all those extra bonuses if you're a new or returning player. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.